Vice Chairperson Edwin Chomba. UPND happy with the performance of police so far. Vice President Mtalina Mango gives hope to Northwestern MPs. Lebinda accuses police of detaining Nakachinda illegally. And now the news in detail. Controversial independent Lumezi Member of Parliament Muna Zulu has alleged that the current crop of investigators sitting at the Anti-Corruption Commission SEC are fixing politicians, more especially critical voices, as opposed to fighting corruption. Mr. Zulu, who was clad in an Islamic attire in a readiness to appear before the SEC, says most of the faces at the commission are more corrupt compared to the individuals they are investigating, hence the need for total cleanup through enhanced laws that will make such institutions stronger. He has announced that once Parliament resumes, he will move a motion in Parliament for the establishment of Zambia Bureau of Investigations. The Lumezi MP, who is also African Parliamentarian Network Against Corruption, APNSC Secretary General, says if the SEC official are subjected to investigations, most of them will not come out clean because of their alleged evil needs. Meanwhile, Mr. Zulu has charged the fight against corruption is regional on people from only two provinces, namely the Bembas and eastern part of Zambia. However, SEC spokesperson Queen Chibwe says Mr. Zulu was summoned as a way to use the opportunity to substantiate his recent remarks that he had bribed some SEC officials before.
The Friday Tembos, the Sulumeses can show us what they want. They should show the Zambian people what they have. Unlike them just saying, no, that is corrupt. I mean, you fail to build a toilet and you tell us that we are corrupt. Today I'm ready for them.
Is there any secret behind your attire?
It's a black day for me. It's a Black Friday. I'm a Muslim. I've got to go for prayer. Whether depend or not, I'm going to meet them head on. In the next session of Parliament, I'm going to move a motion to open or to create a Zambia Bureau of Investigators, because the current crop of investigators are appeasing politicians. They're not investigating anything. They're not investigating anything, and they've got no capacity. Let us investigate them today. Let us go to PACA. Let us go to Ministry of Lands. We print out the list of properties they own as officers and compare with their salaries. It's a total mismatch. They were arrested, but the country needs to heal. We can't continue on this trajectory. For how long are we going to be vindictive? The country needs healing. He didn't do that. But why should we continue? The country is suffering. The country is sick. What we need right now is healing. Look, tell me which regions are being victimized. If it's not Eastern Province, it's the Northern region. That's it. Tell me one name that is from Northwestern, Western or Southern. One name. Just one name out of 18 million Zambia. It's a region of height. There are not two ways about it. Tell me one name.
Well, Mr. Zulu says he is more than ready to expose some of the corrupt names working under the SEC in due course. He says the Kolima Tower building is not fit to fight corruption.
But their wish and aspirations are to intimidate us, to harass anyone that is seen to champion the cause that fights corruption. I'm ready to face them head on, and I'm challenging the Anti-Corruption Commission from their premises. We go to Ministry of Lands now, we do a name search on how many properties that they own individually. There is no way, because one is a politician, they question you to say, how did you build your house, yet they can't account for their own properties. Going forward, I'm calling upon His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema to support the motion that we are bringing to Parliament to abolish this institution, because they want to appear to be fighting corruption when they've got no capacity to fight corruption. I know their intention is to detain me, but look, I'm not a politician who is scared to sleep in any cells. I know going forward they'll come and jab us with foreign substances to eliminate us, but there are people that are coming behind us. They'll defend and protect the ideals that we believe in. And this, I can assure you, I'm going there. I hope they know the law. If they're going to ask me about what I said in Parliament, they should read my privileges that I enjoy. Let them come and debate with me in Parliament and not from here. Unless there is any other thing, but if they think they'll intimidate me, I'll go for them privately as an individual, because I've got the capacity.
Patriotic Front PF acting president has demanded that PF information and publicity chairperson Raphael Nakachinda is being detained illegally by the police as he did not commit any offense. Mr. Lubinda says it is sad that the police are being used to settle political scores by arresting people like Mr. Nakachinda and other PF-aligned members. He was speaking when he visited Mr. Nakachinda at Woodlands Police Station. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has announced that the suspended Kabwata parliamentary by-election in Lusaka would now be held on Thursday, February 3rd, 2022, while the nominations will be done on Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. The Commission has advised aspiring candidates to carry along 15 supporters who are registered voters in the said constituency, and they must be in possession of Green National Registration Cards, NRC. The Kabwata election was earlier to take place on January 20th, 2022, but was cancelled by the Commission due to the resignation of United Progressive People UPP candidate Francis Libanda, who invoked the provisions in Article 52, Clause 6 of the Zambian Constitution. ECZ says because of that, fresh nominations will be done, hence the need for all those aspiring to contest the Kabwata seat to make fresh payment. He also called on the aspirants to ensure they observe the COVID-19 guidelines as advised by the Ministry of Health. This is contained in a statement issued by Muvi TV News by Commission's Operation Affairs Patricia Luhanga. On that note, we take a break. Still to come with more news items. Stay tuned.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precise. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
Betway.
Welcome to the National Institute of Public Administration, NIPA. We are a management development institute under the office of the Republican President of Zambia. We are the heartbeat of Zambian governance. Our core business is to train policymakers in business studies, management studies and legal studies on diploma, bachelor's and master's level. We groom intellectuals with management etiquette and global leadership skills. With more than 50 years of training, we pride in churning out industry-ready graduates that become global. You too can join our NIPA community today. We are in Lusaka, Livingston and Ndola. Enroll with us and study on part-time, full-time, distance learning and e-learning as approved by the BOS. Simply visit our website on www.nipa.ac.zm. Call the NIPA marketing team on 0950-000991. Or you can find us on facebook.com/mynipa. NIPA, excellence, probity.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Health Minister Silva Mazebo has expressed worry over the high levels of malaria cases in Lapula province. Speaking when she conducted a tour at the 2 health facilities, namely Kapanda Mini Hospital and Sanama First Level Hospital, which is still under construction. Ms. Mazebo says unless her ministry doubles the efforts and also comes up with new strategies, it will be difficult to eliminate malaria by 2030. She says that there is is need for the ministry to educate the public about the dangers of malaria. Ms. Masevo adds malaria is the #1 killer in Luapula, as mosquito nets are used for fishing and also indoor residue spraying is done lit, and that it should be taken back by the council and the Ministry of Health to only focus on policy implementation. The Luapula Province Health Director Peter Walia says malaria is the biggest threat the province has due to water borders, but that there is also the need for the public to do its part of ensuring that it uses the nets accordingly and also follow health guidelines. And Sanama First Level Hospital Acting Medical Officer in charge, Dr. Joseph Sulu, says the hospital was upgraded in 2018, but it has no proper facilities such as the mortuary, ambulances, and enough staffs.
Minister of Health, Sylvia Masevo, has bemoaned the high levels of malaria in Luapula Province. The minister, who is in the province to understand the challenges the ministry is passing through, has conducted a tour at Kapanda Main Hospital, Senama First Level Hospital. Honorable Masevo notes that it will be difficult for Zambia to attain a free malaria by 2030 if measures of fighting it are not well implemented.
Is that unless we double our efforts, in addition we come up with new strategies, we may not achieve that agenda to eliminate malaria. Malaria seems to be really high in Luapula, #1 killer disease here. And then the challenges of nets. We distribute nets. Nets are being used for other issues here in Luapula, especially as fish nets. The spraying, the insecticide spraying, we are not doing well. We are spraying late, so it is not effective. So we need to change there again. We need to plant.
And Luapula Province Health Director Dr. Peter Walia says some members of the public are not doing their part in the fight against malaria.
The malaria is the biggest public health threat that we have in Luapula Province. As much as government is trying to do its level best, but there is this other aspect of the actual recipient who would not want to use that massive investment for the intended purpose. So I think with the political commitment, the new direction, maybe we need to change the way we have been trying to enforce these regulations.
And Senama First Level Hospital Medical in charge says though the facility is a first level hospital, it does not look like one.
18, this one we have upgraded to first level hospital. Since we are upgraded, the infrastructure is almost the same, and also we don't have any establishment. Yes. So for us, as what we need at the Senama, the first one is infrastructure. If it was possible to extend.
She also conducted a COVID-19 vaccination relaunch at Senama Market. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa.
Patriotic Front, a member of the Central Committee in charge of Information and Publicity, Raphael Nakachinda, has been released. We now go live to Woodlands Police Station.
Honorable Vice President.
Yeah, he is. Is he?
Where's the Vice President? Who could be here? I think Woodlands. No comment, eh? Next time. The Honorable Professor, please, you are welcome.
Let us
Are we ready?
Indeed, that's what I got to abandon. He's here. Yes, that is the lawyer president of opposition, and the vice president is here.
So we are good to go, eh? Thank you so much, Acting President, Leader of the Opposition in the House, Senior Leaders of the Party, Members of the Press, thank you so much. We don't have enough time. We will ask. Okay, let's go to that side here because the police
just take a first one.
So, Honorable Munduvire, please address the meeting.
Yes, Honorable Nakachinda was arrested and charged with 2 offenses. One, defamation of the president, and the other one, proposing violence. I'm sure all of you brothers and sisters know the transaction from which these offenses have been derived. Honorable Nakachinda was campaigning in Kawata, and I remember that on the day I was in his company. So this is the very first time in our political history that we're having to get the police to traverse political statements. As far as we know, a political statement should be traversed by another political statement. So the statements he made were political. The first one was a mere figure of speech. Every other Bemba, Nyanja, Tonga have used this particular phrase before. We are now surprised that, for political reasons, our brother has been victimized. And secondly, when he mentioned the project that is intended in Chilenje, if at all it was not true, we expected another politician to go there and traverse that particular statement. But in this case, our police are now, our colleagues in the ruling party are abusing state machinery, calling in the police to come and traverse statements that are made on the political platform. So we are also saddened further by the fact that the honorable member was detained even without being arrested. And this is something that we've talked about every day. It seems the police are acting against the law deliberately because the president is on record to say that he will rule this country using the rule of law and that he will not allow people to be detained unnecessarily without being given bond. The law further provides, after detaining someone, you should explain to them thoroughly why you are detaining them. So if the police are doing their job, they should first of all investigate. If they had thoroughly investigated the offense for which they were taking Honorable Nakachinda, they would have released him on bond. So arrests must be made for offenses and not for inquiries. That is what the law says. But in this particular case, what we're witnessing is something totally different. So he's here, he has been released on a police bond. Yeah. I think mine is first of all to thank the party led by the acting President Honorable Given Luvinda, the leader of opposition, members of Central Committee, senior members of the party, Honorable Professor Kanduruo, Honorable Jean Kapata, who have provided support, our members, our colleagues at all levels within the party that have come to stand with me in solidarity. This is the culture that we must continue to build as Patriotic Front, because basically it's very clear Misaka Inde Ichilema will not let go. He will continue to harass members of Patriotic Front from the grassroots to the highest level. The issue here, Honorable Vice President, is basically Kabwati. Yabalelala yoba akaine. Icha shiala kwambo nukufo kupikula mma idioms nentambi omina ndile tulanda muchibemba. My advice to my brother Misaka Inde Ichilema We know that you came on the political scene through tribal, proposals. But you are now Republican president, and you are supposed to advance one Zambia, one nation. There are sayings in Bemba, and that's how come I'm donating a book to you called Insoselo Namapinda, so that you can learn how the Bemba language is spoken. Ukwebo muntu kutila teka matako panshi tensere yo. We're just saying tusha mune chiu. Think before you act, otherwise you are going to crash. Muchibemba walando kutila munshebwa aire na mafikubuko. If you don't listen to the advice that you are getting from opposition, like the vice president has continued to have press briefings to raise issues that are affecting the Zambian people. Chikachitika kumuse vanya. So we'll continue in Kabwata. We know they are targeting our candidate, Crimen Tembo. I'm the campaign manager. They have attempted to intimidate me. It's amazing that one of the conditions they gave me for bond is to lift my fingerprints, which is illegal. They detained me illegally yesterday. Today they have picked my fingerprints. I don't know where Misaka is taking those fingerprints. Or maybe he wants to incriminate me, that I don't know. Honorable Vice President, my job you gave me is to speak on behalf of the party. And that's my job. I will speak here, I will speak tomorrow, I will speak in Kabwata. That is my responsibility. So let him just brace himself. Manawasa said, I have a thick skin. What a thick skin is. Paranoia in the morning, paranoia at lunch, paranoia in the evening. Honorable Vice President, I call upon you. This book derive it on either tomorrow or Monday. State House Professor.
I'd like to address myself to members of the party, and I'd like to reiterate what I said at the press briefing that I last addressed, and that is to say, brace yourselves for the hard times in which we find ourselves. It's not going to be a smooth road ahead of us. It's going to be extremely hard, and all of us have to be steadfast. What is important is for us to know that we are stronger together and weak alone. The show of solidarity that has been made today for Honorable Rafael Nakachinda is what must continue. We must continue on this trajectory. We must not allow anyone to intimidate us. We must make sure that we stand together, because this is our country together. And there is no democracy without opposition. This party is here to stay, and it's going to oppose, and we shall oppose objectively. So I want to thank you, all members of the party, for showing this solidarity. And Rafa Nakachinda, continue to be resolved. We are all resolved. We are all ready for arrest. Thank you.
Thank you. Public office.
Wow. Yes, Bishop. Yeah.
Students at Levi Monawasa Medical University in Lusaka have called for the dismissal of institution Vice-Chancellor Professor Edwin Chomba. Union President Laki Mwenye says it is unfortunate that lecturers have not been paid for 6 months and due to their results have been withheld. The students claim it is as a result of the poor management learners have been subjected to, leading to the challenges they are facing currently. therefore government must quickly dismiss most of them, starting with the Vice-Chancellor. However, management says the institution is trying by all means to offer quality education to the students, despite the few challenges hampering around in the learning environment. When contacted for comment, Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Abel Cavallo says the ministry will only comment on the matter once a comprehensive report from management is availed.
Prism Medical University today, 14th January 2022, held their much-anticipated protest for the dismissal of Vice-Chancellor Edwin Chomba due to poor management of the school. Some of the students spoken to had this to say.
We want change. That is what we have change. We want change. We want change. We want change. And what we are asking for at this particular moment is change. One, students here need batteries and students. That thing, we are not part of the government package. May the government and the president, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, look into this very serious matter. On top of that, today, we are supposed to be having our final results, of which none of the results have been published. So we want to make sure that the government of the Republic of Zambia is aware about this.
And Lucky Mwenya, who is the union president, says for some time students have not been going for attachment, and it is quite unfortunate that lecturers haven't been paid for 6 months.
When today, Friday, was an ultimatum to see to it that we receive our results. You may understand that some of the students that are here are sponsored students, and they only depend on the results to take to their sponsors. And some of the students here are government workers, of which they need their results to submit. They need acceptance letters to take to their employers for them to have their leave approved. We want this leadership to be dissolved today so that we can have new leadership that can listen to the students and put this situation to order. We will not continue like this. We are not happy. We are very upset. And let me see the banners, ladies and gentlemen.
And the union's vice president, Patrick Chama, said lack of accommodation within campus have resulted students to come from far distance to attend classes.
What we can say as the union leadership is that there is no seriousness in this management. We have the vice chancellor who cannot even push for bursaries. Our students are suffering. We cannot have bursaries. University Court campus takoramba. Munafa wa vice chancellor bekare. Munafa wa DVC bekare. Aparamba kuya.
When asked for a comment, Mrs. Chomba said management is aware of these issues and has assured the union and students that things will be resolved as soon as possible. Tasira Zulu, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Chief Kasoma Luela of the Pula province has called on the government to consider developing Chembe district, speaking when Health Minister Sylvia Masebo paid a courtesy call at his palace in Chembe district. The traditional leader says he is ready to work with the government of the day, but that the district has been lacking behind in terms of development, as it has no proper roads, including the road leading to the palace it's in a deportable state. Chief Kasoma Luela noted the district has no mortuary, the Chamber boarding school under construction is not yet completed, and that the government should find a solution to work on the Pedicle Road, which is in a bad state, especially during this season. And in response, the Health Minister Sylvia Masebo says government wants to improve the health sector, hence will put up a hospital mortuary at Chamber Mini Hospital, but will deliver the message to President Hakainde Hichilema on other issues which are not in her ministry, hence called on traditional leaders to work with the government of the day in order to unite the country and foster development together.
Of the districts in Luapula, with a population of 25,000 and 10 healthy facilities, the district has no district hospital but relies on a mini hospital which does not have a mortuary. It is for this reason that Chief Kasoma Luela has called on government to put up a mortuary urgently.
kuombea pamoja na ngobuteko kupya kwa Newton. Nomba kwenda Chembe district walipo minister kwenda ile kula abantu balefula. Sinisa abantu balefula ile kula. Yofa shile bako. Kutuna nomba fikupeko kwa Newton government.
The traditional leader has also called on government to find a solution to roads in the districts, including Pedicle Road, which are currently in a deplorable state.
That's why she went up my minister. Very soon, I have to give a because a key road has a Naomba hiyo problem yote ilifika na mfie sana. Tuwelira iye ingine na wao kuko atinja kupa beoti. Mpendi kwa mpri problem kulifia sana. So shishi wenshi na mwala mfira mbeko kumurifu mwala kushina wa contract wa kushira.
In response, Health Minister Sylvia Masewo says our ministry will put up a mortuary at Chembe Mini Hospital soon.
Kindu Maranga Tia Road, Tia Medical Road, Tia Secondary School. Nala send a message to the President and he will give you the answer on the other developments.
She also called on traditional leaders to support the government of the day in order to foster development.
The country. So he's asking all the traditional authorities in Zambia to work with him to change Zambia, to transform Zambia, to develop Zambia for the good of the nation. And that is his message, and that's the message I bring to you.
Honorable Masewo also inspected some health facilities in the district, including Chembe Mini Hospital, where she said that government will not build the district hospital soon, but will rather improve the already existing facilities by putting up the needed equipment. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Chembe.
United Party for National Development UPND member Chilekwa Munkonge has maintained the law enforcers must be given respect and support to execute their duties without any form of interference by those in opposition, whom he said have kept on accusing investigative wings, including the head of state. Mr. Munkonge says what government is doing is to ensure all stolen resources are recovered. Meanwhile, Mr. Munkonge has appealed to Senior Chief Chitimukulu of the Bemba-speaking people to bury all the perceived difference which might have happened in the past and work with President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND administration. He said this when he featured on Muvi TV's special interview.
People, yes. And you know the type of people who live there. Because even if you go there today, Piri, and you have a party, they will get it. They will say what you are saying is true. Because some of them are not privy to some of the information. And he wanted probably to take this advantage so that those people they can rise against the government. But however, probably he has the what? He has the evidence which he has to prove in court.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait
Let's
until
give it the benefit to that.
Excellent.
Look, when someone alleges, meaning maybe somebody has got evidence.
Maybe.
But sometimes again, you politicians are not trusted. You could be playing politics, and that's where the issue is going to come from.
Excellent.
You know?
Excellent.
But the genesis of my question and why I went further to interpolate was that
why is it today during a by-election someone goes to Mapoloto and say what he said? What is it telling you? During the by-election, all these along, he hasn't been to Mapoloto and tell them that there is this which is coming. But during the by-election, that's when he had decided to go to Mapoloto and go announce and say what he said.
All right.
So some of these politicians, you must be very, very careful with them. This government means well to all the Zambian people. And if you have noticed, there are a lot of change. And people today, they are celebrating for the policies of this government, New Dawn government. And I'm one of them who is celebrating. Because under PF, no one was talking. Under PF, you remember, I think in MMD, when they were calling His Excellency, may so rest in peace, by Levi Monasa, they were even calling him cabbage. They were calling sort of names. People were not treated. Can you call the Prism, the previous government? Can you call them names? How many people were appearing before courts over deformations? A lot. And they want now to continue in some.
This is the Muvi TV's primetime news. We'll go for another set of commercials. See you shortly.
Congrats, bro!
What? Who'll be there?
Last son of Dexpan.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her the ring. Everyone, say to Filai.
One day, I'll give you the world.
Oh, you already have.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Patriotic Front PF member Emmanuel Mwamba has proposed the need to get rid of the laws that borders on the defamation of the president, stating that such laws are not fit for Zambia and other democratic countries. Speaking when he visited PF member of the Central Committee Raphael Nakachinda, Mr. Mwamba says the law on defamation of the head of state should be gotten rid of because it is there to infringe on people's human rights. He says Zambia can learn from other countries, both within and the continent beyond, which have worked on such matters.
Honorable Nakachinda, we need to go to the fundamental issues where we've advocated for the repeal and abolishment of what we call insult laws in freedom of expression and freedom of speech principles. The laws that protect leaders, public officials, from what they call honor and dignity must be abolished. They've been abolished in many democracies, and there's been a lobby in SADC that we should abolish these laws. These laws are archaic. They are from colonial era. They take us to a past we have fought and overcome. Criminal defamation should not exist on our books. What should exist there is civil defamation, where you can take someone to court if you think that they've demeaned your honor, your dignity, or they've said something untrue about you, or they've expressed actions that may be false or cast you in bad light. These are civil matters. They should never be criminal. The matter that Honorable Nakachinda is facing is a matter bordering on what we call insult laws, where you say something against a public official, such as a head of state, and they bring you here, they criminalize the process. So my call is we should use this case, the courts should use the case of Nakachinda and these other cases to abolish these laws. They do not need to exist in our democracy. Informal, you shouldn't worry about people insulting you. It should never be an issue. Of course, I call for clean politics. I call for issue-based politics. I call for politics that discusses development and matters that affect our people. But as we cultivate this democracy, we should never allow these laws to sit on our statute books. The insult laws, they are colonial, old and we should outlaw them. We should make that very clear. It's the police have, they are implementers of the law. The detention should not be more than 24 hours. They should arraign and bring such a person before a court of law. We should go to a fundamental issue, the abuse of state institutions to fight political opponents. This case falls in those positions, and my appeal is to the current Inspector General Police, Mr. Kajoba. He should not fall into the trap where his institution is used to fight political opponents and political fights. His institution should be professional. It's an opportunity for the police to be professional and reclaim their professional standing in this country. This similarly goes to other institutions, whether it's ACC, DEC, and other law enforcement agencies. We should not allow the abuse of these institutions.
Vice President Matalina Lumango says has reaffirmed the government's commitment to transform all parts of the country, including northern western province, which said has a lot of needs. Mrs. Nalumango, who was recently received by UPND Secretary General Batuke Menda, Western Province Minister Kapelwa Mbangweta, Sesheke Member of Parliament Romeo Kangombe, and his Luena counterpart Mobita Anakoka, and senior government officials says there is need for all MPs to work together because the new Dawn government is in a hurry to develop the country. She was speaking upon arrival at Mungu Airport.
Even if you saw, you didn't see with the eyes of the flesh, you saw victory and you stood for that. And today Zambia is liberated. That is why your administration has been called New Dawn. It's a new beginning for Zambia. What are we beginning? A number of things like the Honorable Minister has referred to. We want to get rid of the bad things of yesterday, like corruption, and you have seen it begin.
The government, through the Ministry of Tourism, has been advised to seriously embark on a process of restoring national parks with some of the endangered animals that have seen reduction due to continued poaching. In a press statement issued to Muvi TV and News, Greenland Conservation Foundation Executive Director Armstrong Muyakwabo observes animals such as the Big Five and white rhinos are key in marketing the country's tourism sector. Mr. Muyakwabo adds that Zambia's tourism development should be anchored on conserving animal species that foreign tourism wish to see in the country, hence restoring our national parks with such animals will boost the country's tourism potential. He notes Zambia has a comparative advantage over its neighboring countries in terms of tourism activities, ranging from Victoria Falls viewing, bungee jumping, water rafting, and game viewing, hence calling for more animal protection and restoring for it to thrive. Mr. Muyakwabo further says it is for this reason the country, through the Ministry of Tourism, should endeavor to ensure that tourism coming to Zambia are given full packages which will make their stay in the country longer, rather than having a situation where tourists just come to view the Victoria Falls for a few hours and a flight back to a country where they have been booked their holiday. Minister of Health, Silva Masebo, has charged the need for all stakeholders to join hands in addressing maternal health care in the country using the available resources. Mrs. Masebo says the new Dawn government will provide the necessary tools in delivering maternal care for all the women in the country. She adds her ministry means the business matters of health by leaving no one behind. She was speaking during the COVID-19 media update in Luapula province. We'll take a break on that note. We still have more news items coming up shortly after the break. Stay tuned.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob!
Over here! Where? Over here!
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Some Mwensa-based subcontractors of Moshota Company in Luapula province have raised concerns to government for the alleged lack of consideration in awarding of contracts by the authorities through the Lusaka Water Utility Company. In a speech read by the Mujado Company Secretary Moshota Duncan says government should intervene in the situation before they stage a peaceful demonstration. To President Hakainde Hichilema, he says there is a need for order to be restored in the sector.
Association hereby presenting the disappointment over the 20% Zambian contractors under the Integrated Small Town Water Supply and Sanitation Program in Mwensa district of Luapula province. That is Lot 2. In Lot 2 we have two districts, that's Mwensa and Kawambwa. I'll start with the first correspondence which we did, which happened on the 4th of June in 2021. Mwensa Contractor Association wrote a complaint letter to a permanent secretary for Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Environmental Protection after realizing that none of Mwensa contractors was shortlisted as a subcontractor to participate in the above stated project. Instead, only Lusaka and Copperbelt, even some people from Mansa were informed to submit their profiles and later on selected. The correspondence is being cited as Appendix 1. After this letter, we also wrote a second letter, which happened on the 16th of June 2021. The Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Water Development also wrote a submission letter of 9 companies' profile to the Managing Director of Luapula Water and Sewerage Company in Mansa for their review and further consideration on the 20% contractors, the 20% subcontracting component under the integrated project. This one is on appendix number 2. Thereafter, after these 2 correspondence have been done, on the 6th of August 2021, the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Water and Development wrote a letter to the Managing Director, this is China Civil, as the main contractors. The content of the letter was a submission of 5 shortlisted subcontractors by the Ministry, those that met the minimum criteria for their consideration as they engaged the already 14 subcontractors who were shortlisted at first. After that, it was alleged that the subcontractors must have heavy-duty machineries for them to be considered as subcontractors. However, when we visited the site, this was happening today. When we visited the site, we found that the many contractors had engaged casual workers who are using picks, shovels, and oars, contrary to the alleged heavy-duty machinery.
Patriotic Front PF spokesperson Raphael Nakachinda has vowed that he will not be silenced by the police in contributing to the growth of Zambia's democracy. Speaking shortly after his release, Mr. Nakachinda says the arrest by the police are meant to silence him and his fellow leaders in PF. Meanwhile, leader of opposition Brian Mundubile and PF acting president Given Lubinda have called on PF members to remain united despite the humiliation. Residents in Lusaka's Garden House compound have been forced to abandon their houses due to floods. The floods have further resulted in the closure of several shops. One of the affected residents, Agnes Zambo, has appealed to the relevant authorities for assistance. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo has charged the need for all the stakeholders to join hands in addressing maternal health care in the country using the available resources. Mrs. Masebo says the Nudon government will provide the necessary tools in delivering maternal care for all the women in the country. She adds her ministry means business matters of health by leaving no one behind. She was speaking during the COVID-19 media update in Luapula province. We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Binoculars Nakachinda released after spending a night in cells. Controversial Lumezi MP strikes at SEC officials, accuses them of being more corrupt. ECZ set February 3rd as a date of which to hold the postponed Kabwata parliamentary by-elections. Lusaka's Levi Marawasa student protest as they demand for the dismissal of their VC Edwin Chomba. UPND happy with the performance of police so far. Vice President Metalena Rumango gives a hope to Northwestern MPs. And finally, Lubinda accuses police of having arrested Nakachinda illegally. Thank you so much for watching. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming on Muvi TV, your channel of choice.
Institute is inviting you to enroll for its January intake in nursing. The place to be for nursing is enrolling for its January intake registered nursing diploma for 3 years, abridged EN to RN distance program for 1 year. Get an application form now at a non-refundable fee of 150 kwacha. The prominent chair of the institute is accredited with the General Nursing Council of Zambia. Register now with this upstanding institution by calling 0978 435 853 or 0763 865 035 or 0955 617 872. Or visit www.prominentcherubinstitute.edu.zm. We are located in Lusaka west of Muvi Road next to ZNS Sopelo Camp. Come and get your nursing qualification from a reliable institution and make your future and that of the world better. Prominent Cherub Institute, the place to be for nursing.
At Manzi Valley, we pride ourselves in giving you the cleanest and safest mineral water on the Zambian market. Our mineral water is produced in the cleanest and most hygienic, germ-free environment in Zambia, and that's just a fact. We at Natural Valley take pride in the quality of our product so that you can safely enjoy our mineral water, rich in minerals, to satisfy that thirst and revitalize your body. So grab a bottle of Manzi Valley mineral water now to beat that thirst with the cleanest bottled water in Zambia.
Who's got the cheapest plots in town with affordable payment plans? Namayo, Heritage Property. Yes, I'm searching around because I'm trying to build a house where I can find a better place. Heritage Property. Tell me more. Heritage Property.
It's another day to make a difference in your life. Put your investments in land today, and guess what? It's as cheap as 9,000 kwacha only. For only 9,000 kwacha, you get to buy a 30 by 20 size of land in 18 miles. If you can't pay it all at once, you still can pay in installments of 1,000 kwacha per month until you finish. For more details, visit us at Finical House on the 9th floor in room 9 or call us on 0976 734527 or 0961 620881. Visit our Facebook page at Namayo Heritage Property. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Namayo Heritage Property. Come and inherit your heritage. Namayo Heritage Property, your land guru.
My name is Chatimo Milika Piri. I graduated from Muvi Christian Academy. I went there when I was in grade 9 in 2008 and I graduated in 2011. What I loved about Muvi was the moral standing, that was one, and two, how serious our teachers were in relation to us working hard. I'm currently working for USAID Pact as a program quality intern, or as a dreams intern rather. What I've learned from Muvi, or what I can still proudly say, is the fact that I've developed holistically as a young woman, and right now I can proudly say that from Muvi I've learned a lot of skills, but one thing that I can say is developing as a leader. Because while I was at the University of Zambia, I emerged as the chairperson, one of the youngest chairpersons at the University of Zambia Response Program. Also at Zafes, I held a position as a hospitality secretary for 2 years straight. That I can proudly say, from where I started just as a head girl, a deputy head girl, to today I can still stand and proudly say that from the experience I had at Muvi, I've learned to be a good leader. I would urge all the parents out there to bring all your girls to Muvi. It's a very good environment. One, they'll develop spiritually, emotionally, and they'll learn to be creative in all the areas that they want to develop. So if